Hello, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will learn about formula auditing tools. Okay, here I have created one table with some data. So we will be using this data to understand the concept of trace precedent, trace dependence, and removing. We will also learn about removing the arrows from the screen. Okay, so let's see one by one. So here in the first column I have stored some products, and in the second column I have stored some quantities, and in the third column we have stored some price. So now what we will do to understand these three things, we need some calculation or formulas. So we will use some formula to calculate the total amount. So what we will do, we will multiply these two cells to find out the total amount. So we will use the formula equals to, then we'll select this cell, asterisk for into and multiplication, then select this cell and hit enter. So we got the answer. Now we will drag down to fill the remaining cells. So we got the output for the multiplication of quantity and price. Okay. Now what we will do, we will find out this after discount price by subtracting this discount amount from these um, total amount. Okay, so how we will do this, we will use the formula equal, we'll select this cell, then minus, and then select this cell, but this cell should be fixed for the remaining cells. So what we will do, we will make it fixed by taking F4. So now this cell is fixed. Now press enter and drag it down for the remaining cell. So this is the output. So we have performed all the calculation to find out the total amount and after discount amount. Okay, now to see the formula, what we will do, we will use the shortcut key control tilde. So once you press, it will show the formula. So formula is like this. Here we are multiplying C5 with D5, C6 with D6, C7 with D7, and so on. And for this one, like here for after discount, what we are doing, we are subtracting this cell e5 to e10 cell from this fixed cell. So fixed cell is C12. So throughout the data, the C12 cell is fixed. Now to hide the formula again, we will use the control tilde. Okay, so now we will use the trace precedent, trace dependence thing. So what is trace precedent? So suppose if I wanted to check, like, this amount is calculated, but from which two cells, or which like what all cells are included to calculate this amount. So to find this same, what we will do, we will use this shortcut key, that is Alt M and P. Once we hit Alt and M and P, it will show a arrow like this, where it is indicating like with dots, like this cell C5 cell is multiplied with D5 cell to find to get the this value. Okay, so similarly we will see for this one. So just click this cell and then go with the command Alt MP. And if I want to check for this cell, so I will use Alt MP. So it will show like this cell and this cell is included to find out the value of this cell. Okay, so that's how we can use the trace precedent. And if you want to delete all these arrows, so what we will do, we will use the command Alt M A. So all the arrows will get removed. So this is all about the trace precedent. Now we will see about the trace dependence. So suppose if I want to check, like, like this cell is dependent, like how many cells are dependent for this particular cell. So what we will do, we will select this cell and then use the shortcut key Alt M and D. So we can see that like this cell is dependent on this cell, or vice versa, like this cell is dependent on this cell. So if I change the value of this cell, then this cell will also get changed. Let's see by removing this arrow. So I will remove the arrow, Alt M A, and if I make it 0, so my this 0, so my this cell will also get changed. We are getting. So that's how we can see that like these two cells are dependent. Further, this cell is also dependent for this cell, but for now we are just checking for these two cells. Okay, so let me check, change it to again 20. Okay, now this is dependency. If I wanted to check for this particular cell like C12, so I will use the same command Alt M and D. So it shows me like all these cells are dependent on this particular cell. Okay, and if you want to remove all these arrows, so you can go with the same command Alt M double A. So it will remove the arrow. So these are the like ways to find out the trace precedents. Like if I wanted to check a trace precedent for this, maybe this cell like all time P, so it will show me like these two cells are included for this cell. And if I wanted to check for this dependent, so what I will do, I will go with alt m D, so it will show me the dependent. So and if you want to remove the all arrows at a time, then you can use the alt m AA command. And if you don't want to use these shortcut keys, then what need we can do, we can directly go to formulas. Then we can either use trace precedent, trace dependent. If you want to remove, so directly it will get removed. And if you want like here, if I use the command alt mp and alt md, so if I want to remove particular things, so what I will do, I will go for formulas, then drop down, and then from here if I want click on remove precedent arrows, so it will remove out the precedent arrow. And if you want to like, here we can select this particular cell and we can remove it out. And if you want to delete all the thing at a time, so just click here, so it will remove it out. Okay, so that's all for this session. In the upcoming session we will learn about some more concepts. So thank you for watching Texture Myth.